Hello everyone, my name is K.M. Weiland, and I am the author of the books Outlining Your Novel and the Outlining Your Novel Workbook. And as such, one of the questions that I frequently get from people is why outline? Why should we go to all this extra trouble of writing our story before the story, basically, before we get to all the fun stuff of actually drafting the story? Well, if you've ever actually written a first draft, then undoubtedly you've run into those moments where nothing's working and it's not so much fun anymore. You're beating your head against your keyboard because you don't know where the story's supposed to go. You have maybe a vague idea of how you want it to end, but you have no idea how to get your characters to that end in a way that makes sense and that will resonate with your readers on a deeper level. Well, outlining is, in my experience, the answer to this question, because when you're able to approach the outlining process from a place of discovery and excitement and figure out all of the major questions about your story, you're then able to apply that in the first draft to not only create a story that is seamless and strong and makes sense and is going to resonate with readers on both a logical and emotional level, but it also makes the entire process so much more fun because all of the pieces are laid out in front of you. You know how to make them work, and you're not constantly struggling with trying to find the right questions to ask so you can find the right answers. So that is why I am such a tremendous proponent of outlining, and that is why we have created the Outlining Your Novel Workbook computer program, which takes my Outlining Your Novel Workbook, which was a paperback and an ebook, and takes all of the questions and exercises from that and puts them into this computer program where you're able to have a guided process for working through your outline and figuring out all of these important questions about your story while still tapping into that all-important subconscious creativity. And for me, that's very important to understand when we're talking about outlines. A lot of us hear the word outline and we start thinking about those horrible, mind-numbing Roman numeral outlines from when we were in high school. That is not the outlining process that I recommend. For me, outlining is synonymous with brainstorming. You're using this process to delve into all of the amazing possibilities in your story so that you're making sure you're taking full advantage of it. You're covering all your bases when it comes to structure and character arc and theme so that you have the tools at your disposal when you're actually ready to start writing that first draft. So really quick, I just want to kind of show you how the program works and what you can do with it. Basically, this is based on my own approach to outlinings that I use when I'm outlining every one of my novels. I like to start with the big picture and then kind of work your way down. We start with premise, where you can fill out your premise sentence, and then we move on to really fun things like here, the what if questions, which is one of the most popular exercises that people have found in my books. And this is basically where you're just throwing ideas onto the page and seeing where it leads you. The program then guides you in creating a scene list, a scene-by-scene list that you can use to create, this solid first draft. Character arc and theme, you're guided through doing that with just some questions that will help you think about the important aspects of this. There is a character interview, which I tend to like a very in-depth interview. I think there's about 100 questions in this at this point. Obviously you can use as many or as few of them as you like. Guide you through thinking about your settings, which is something a lot of people don't necessarily think about in the outlining stage or even in the first draft until they actually get to particular scenes. But this is an incredibly important decision for creating cohesion within your overall story and even for underlining your theme. And then we have questions just about the outline itself and also some fun extras, places to import mind maps, maps if you're writing fantasy or historical or whatever, as well as calendar for keeping track of your time. This is really fun. It's a playlist. You can import specific songs that apply to your entire book, your protagonist, your antagonist, etc., and then play them right here in the program. So the reason that we created this program was ultimately because outlining is such an important and useful tool for writers, and yet it's misunderstood. And I think a lot of writers are afraid of it, both because they don't know where to start and because it can seem overwhelming. So what we've tried to do here is create a guided process that walks you through intuitively from beginning to end what you need to do to take your raw ideas and refine them into something that actually works and is structured properly through the entire 3 acts to create a solid first draft, while still leaving lots of room for you to explore in your own way and to find whatever process best anticipates and enhances your own creativity. So I hope that outlining is something that you will give a try, and that the program ends up being very helpful to you in writing your best stories.